Keyshawn mentality was like, fuck me. Like, it was like, he don't give a fuck. Like fuck you, nigga, let's fight. Like, and it kind of like, he couldn't really, he was trying to capitalize. He couldn't really like do too much at that time because I was bigger, older.
The boxing world is currently reeling from reports that Shakur Stevenson has finally confronted Keyshawn Davis in what witnesses are calling the most explosive and volatile manner imaginable. This shocking development between these two former training partners has sent seismic shockwaves through the entire sport, leaving fans and insiders absolutely stunned by the intensity of the fallout. The reigning lightweight champion reportedly refused to let things slide after catching wind of the controversial comments Keyshawn made regarding the pound-for-pound king Terrence "Bud" Crawford and the legendary trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre. Sources incredibly close to the situation suggest that Shakur didn't just send a message. He literally ran up on Keyshawn to address the perceived disrespect face-to-face in a high-stakes encounter. According to multiple insiders who claim to have been eyewitnesses to the heated exchange, Shakur got directly in Keyshawn's personal space, making it crystal clear that bad-mouthing Crawford and his mentor was a line in the sand that could never be uncrossed.
Is it trouble in Call of Duty Paradise? Is it trouble? Lord child. Keyshawn Davis.
Top Rank was always going to wedge something between them two, and I seen it once they start feeding them the...
Detailed reports suggest this high-tension confrontation erupted during a recent training session where both elite fighters happened to be present. Shakur allegedly unloaded on Keyshawn, telling him something along the lines of, "You can say whatever you want about the business of boxing, but don't you ever dare disrespect Bud or Bomac. That is my family, and I absolutely do not play when it comes to the people who raised me in this game." This alleged incident has already ignited a massive firestorm across social media platforms, with the boxing community deeply divided over whether Shakur was justified in confronting his former close friend or if Keyshawn's comments were simply being blown out of proportion by the media. However, the full, unvarnished story of what Keyshawn allegedly uttered to spark this aggressive confrontation is even more shocking than anyone initially realized, revealing a deep-seated rift that may be permanent. But before we dive into the specific biting comments that allegedly set Shakur off on a warpath, the long shared history between these two fighters makes this sudden collapse of their brotherhood even more complicated and dramatically tragic.
We always knew, like, when we go in gyms, Keyshawn was with me every day. We used to go in gyms and beat everybody up, like, beat this guy up, beat this, no matter who it was, from like the best guys to, we beat them all up. And we always knew that we was going to be in a situation one day where the world would want to see us fight. Like, we was going to beat it.
Those who have followed their careers, Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, weren't just colleagues. They have been incredibly close friends and primary training partners for several years. Both rose through the amateur and professional ranks under the strict guidance of Bomac while training side by side with Terrence Crawford in the boxing mecca of Omaha. These two undefeated phenoms were widely known as brothers within the sport, constantly appearing in each other's corners, supporting one another publicly on social media, and relentlessly pushing each other in the gym to reach the pinnacle of the lightweight division. Sources suggest they spent an astronomical number of hours sparring together in grueling sessions, traveling the globe for international fights, and building what every analyst and fan thought was an unbreakable, lifelong bond in the often treacherous world of professional boxing.
Congrats on the world title. We all want to see that Shakur unification. Come on, man. Pave your own path. You already got two blood brothers.
Nah, I'm not fighting Shakur, bro. Y'all already know why I'm not fighting Shakur. I'm not about to keep going down that road. I'm trying to fight Tank.
The depth of their connection was echoed by a former training partner who allegedly stated, "Shakur and Keyshawn were practically inseparable for years. They called each other brothers every single day, and it wasn't just talk." Seeing them beefing like this is honestly wild because absolutely nobody in the inner circle saw it coming. This specific testimony makes the alleged gym confrontation even more jarring and shocking because these were not merely casual acquaintances or distant professional colleagues. These were elite-level fighters who genuinely considered each other family, sharing meals, secrets, and the same championship dreams, which makes this current state of public hostility and private aggression feel like a massive betrayal to everyone involved in their camp.
Tone, I know you seen one half of the COD brothers in his feelings on Twitter.
Is it trouble in Call of Duty Paradise? Is it trouble? Lord child. Keyshawn Davis.
Top Rank was always going to wedge something between them two, and I seen it once they start feeding them the opponent.
Many prominent boxing analysts and pundits believe the underlying tension started simmering when Keyshawn made the controversial and sudden decision to leave the Bomac training camp recently, a move that reportedly did not sit well with the fiercely loyal Shakur. The global boxing community was already buzzing with speculation regarding Keyshawn's high-profile split from Brian McIntyre's world-class training stable, with many experts questioning why a rising star would ever choose to leave such a wildly successful and proven championship setup. According to various sources familiar with the inner workings of the situation, Keyshawn allegedly made a series of pointed comments during recent interviews that Shakur interpreted as blatant disrespect toward the very camp and coaching staff that helped build both of their lucrative careers from the ground up.
He was trying to capitalize. He couldn't really do too much at that time because I was bigger, older. But it still was like, okay,
yeah,
I know this nigga a dog. Like, I know with the right push, he gonna be where he's supposed to be.
I definitely feel like under Bomac, he been, flourishing and looking a lot better. Niggas want to see that fight. I'm going to keep asking both of y'all.
One insider who requested total anonymity reportedly shared the details, stating, Keyshawn was talking about how he needed to make drastic changes and claiming the old setup wasn't working for his evolution anymore. Shakur took that deeply personally because Bomac is much more than a trainer to him. He is a father figure. These alleged comments have since taken on a massive life of their own in boxing circles, with multiple conflicting versions of what Keyshawn actually said circulating wildly on social media and through gym gossip networks. Many believe Keyshawn's statements regarding his need for a fresh start were simply about his own personal career evolution and professional growth. However, Shakur allegedly viewed them as a direct, unprovoked attack on the people he loves most. Sources suggest there was one specific high-profile interview where Keyshawn allegedly said something so inflammatory that it crossed a line in Shakur's eyes and led directly to the physical confrontation. According to individuals who claim to have seen the raw interview footage, Keyshawn allegedly made comments suggesting that Terrence Crawford and Bomac weren't providing him with the specific attention he deserved as a rising superstar.
I think Keyshawn is more Earl Spence than Jermell Charlo. I think push come to shove, he will fight Shakur. He's with Bomac and them. They've already been there with Jamel Herring. They know they got, no disrespect to Jamel, but a more talented fighter this time around. They have that experience of Keyshawn being in the ring with him. And it's obvious, like, it don't matter the age.
One source close to Shakur's inner circle reportedly stated that Keyshawn was essentially complaining that Bud gets all the focus and he felt like he was being treated as an afterthought or pushed to the side during training. He was reportedly voicing frustrations about not getting enough strategic focus from Bomac during critical championship training camps. These alleged complaints apparently infuriated Shakur, who has always been notoriously and fiercely loyal to Crawford and remains highly defensive of Bomac's hard-earned reputation as one of the greatest trainers in the history of the sport. Shakur allegedly felt that Keyshawn was being incredibly ungrateful and disrespectful to the very mentors who helped develop him into the elite fighter he is today. Conversely, supporters of Keyshawn Davis have been quick to defend his professional position, pointing out that every independent fighter has the absolute right to make strategic decisions about their own career trajectory without being verbally or physically attacked. One fan allegedly tweeted, Keyshawn has every right to leave Bomac's camp if he feels he needs a different environment. That's not disrespect. That is just business. Another frustrated supporter wrote, Shakur needs to mind his own business. Just because he is loyal to Bomac doesn't mean Keyshawn has to stay there forever. This is professional boxing, not a cult.
You're in a great division. When you talk about the lightweight division at 135, I mean, you got Shakur, your homie, you got Gervonta, you got Isak Cruz, Devin Haney, and I read where you said, I'm ready for a world title shot now. Do you believe that, though, that Keyshawn Davis is ready to step into the ring with one of those guys and fight for a world title?
On the other side of the fence, those close to Shakur argue with conviction that the issue was never just about Keyshawn choosing to leave the camp. It was specifically about how he allegedly spoke disparagingly about Crawford and Bomac in the aftermath of making that decision. One person familiar with Shakur's current mindset allegedly shared, if Keyshawn had just quietly moved to a different camp and said nothing, nobody would have cared. But he was out here doing interviews talking slick and acting like Bud and Bomac weren't the reason he's relevant. That is what set Shakur off. This massive division among fans perfectly captures the extreme complexity of this volatile situation. There are legitimate, logical arguments on both sides of this emotional conflict. The alleged confrontation reportedly took place at a prominent gym where both fighters happened to be training on the very same day, creating the perfect storm for a dramatic explosion. According to sources who claim to be present in the room, Shakur walked into the facility and immediately spotted Keyshawn working out with his brand new training team. The atmosphere allegedly became suffocatingly tense in an instant, with everyone in the gym sensing that a violent or verbal eruption was about to go down between the two former friends.
Let's make it about Keyshawn. If Keyshawn is fighting Shakur, does that ever happen? Or are you guys just never gonna fight no matter what?
We never gonna fight.
And why is that? Let me just go there for a second.
Like, we grew up together. We brothers for sure.
One witness who requested anonymity reportedly described the high-drama scene in detail. Shakur came in hot. You could see it in his walk. He was visibly upset. He didn't even go to his locker or warm up. He just walked straight across the floor to where Keyshawn was training. These alleged eyewitness accounts paint a vivid picture of Shakur being completely determined to address the situation directly and aggressively rather than letting it fester or playing it out through passive-aggressive social media posts. Sources suggest that Shakur got right in Keyshawn's face and demanded an immediate explanation for why he was talking about Crawford and Bomac in interviews. According to people familiar with the heated exchange, Shakur allegedly shouted something like, "You got something to say about Bud? Say it to my face right now. You got problems with Bomac? Let's talk about it like men instead of you running your mouth in interviews like a coward." This alleged confrontation reportedly caught Keyshawn completely off guard and stunned, as he apparently was not expecting Shakur to approach him so aggressively or publicly about the conflict.
Now let's talk, man. You know I've been saying this for a while, and I know this question keep on running across Keyshawn desk, but is it time yet?
What, for him and Kerr?
Is it time yet?
I'm gonna say this. You know, I was with you on agreeance, right? But then I
close to the situation stated that while Keyshawn tried to calmly explain his perspective, Shakur was absolutely not trying to hear any excuses. He was fired up and ready to handle business right there on the gym floor. The tension allegedly escalated to a dangerous point where other fighters and gym trainers had to physically step in to prevent the situation from turning into a full-blown brawl. However, staunch supporters of Keyshawn tell a completely different version of the events, suggesting that Shakur was the one being unnecessarily aggressive, unprofessional, and confrontational. One person allegedly connected to Keyshawn's new training camp stated that Keyshawn wasn't disrespecting anyone. He was just being honest about his career path. They claim Shakur came in there trying to intimidate him because he simply cannot handle the truth of the situation. This conflicting narrative has only added more gasoline to the fire, with fans debating whose version of events is more accurate. Some boxing analysts believe this entire situation stems from deep-seated jealousy and professional competition between two elite athletes who are both trying to establish themselves as the future face of the lightweight division. One prominent boxing commentator allegedly stated, "This isn't really about Terrence Crawford or Bomac. This is about Shakur and Keyshawn both knowing they will likely have to fight each other eventually, and neither one wants to blink first." This perspective adds a fascinating layer to the drama. Perhaps the real issue is that these former friends are now direct rivals competing for the same titles and opportunities. Many believe Shakur saw Keyshawn's comments as an opportunity to establish psychological dominance and send a clear message that he won't tolerate any perceived disrespect. The timing is particularly interesting given that both are scheduled to compete on the same massive card on January 31st at Madison Square Garden. Shakur Stevenson is slated to face Teofimo Lopez in a blockbuster main event, while Keyshawn Davis is fighting Jermaine Ortiz on the undercard, creating a scenario where tensions will be at an all-time high. Sources suggest promoters are now deeply concerned about potential backstage chaos on fight night.
People don't realize is about Shakur, the mentality that I have, Shakur has it. Mine is just louder. But when you in the ring with Shakur, he's a mean fighter, bro. Like, for real. Like, take it from me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he did something dirty in the ring, and then Keyshawn responded and did something dirty back, which fighters do. When he did that, his father jumped in the ring. When his father jumped in the ring, Cade jumped in the ring too, and they kind of was getting in the. I don't even know what you even call.
How long you been knowing Keyshawn?
I knew Keyshawn since he was 13.
And I seen something on IG, man. I see y'all playing with the fans and stuff, doing the face-off, bro. Just track with me for a second. You the WBC lightweight champ. He getting ready to fight Baranchik for the WBO, right?
Yep.
I know y'all saying y'all ain't gonna ever fight. I can't see it happening now, but like, you mean to tell me?
Influence on my whole career, and even like still to this day, I still remember certain things that they do in their camp.
Yeah.
I pick up and do in my camp.
How did y'all meet? Describe y'all relationship. Like, what was the first time y'all clicked up?
The first time I remember, I was a little kid. I want to say like 16, 17 years old. It was at ringside, and I seen him, and I knew he was a world champion. Years in the planet, bro. It's like as we came up, bro. When we go in every gym, bro. It's me and Keyshawn whooping ass. We used to go to gyms, just beat niggas up like on some regular shit.
Any gym, like high level. Nigga, when I went to sparred Lomachenko, Keyshawn was down there beating up some other Olympic gold medalist.
All right, now what about Shakur?
What about him? Like fighting him?
Yeah.
Nah, I'd never fight Shakur. Nah.
Even though, hold up, y'all in the same rank. I know y'all homies, brothers. Yeah. Somebody gotta get all the belts. Like, don't.
So what if you got 2 belts? Shakur got 2 belts, and he puts a shitload of money for like
y'all gotta tear it up.
I mean, bro, like it gotta be like a shitload of money, bro.